All right, everybody, and welcome to Hard Rock History, episode 35. Today, this guy right here, this guy, if you went to a club, other than seeing him on stage, he was hanging out. He was right in front, he was right on the side, he was right by the bar, he was all over and always friendly. And it's funny, I've seen this man's face and been in the same room for decades, and it's true, decades. And it wasn't until Triumph and this is talking about a month ago that I
Yep.
actually came up and actually spoke to him, and he's a great guy. As I always heard great stories about you, Jack, and we're talking about Jack Frost. Jack, thank you for being on the show, my man.
Thanks for having me, man. Don't believe all the stories. They're all lying to you.
Great guitar player, man. You're one of these guys that I always say go-to guys.
Thank you.
That in
Thank
a
you. That's
pinch,
very nice.
you know what I mean? And and obviously you are because you've done several things to your compliment. It's not you were in bands like, oh, this guy's fucking got to get rid of him. No, you in bands because they needed a guy that knows his shit, that can perform, that can be on the stage, that can give it. And I believe that really is you, Jack.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Sometimes I take some things on because I just love to play. I mean, like it's funny how you said that, dude. I'm a fan first before anything.
Hmm.
I'm still that 13-year-old kid with my denim jacket on, and the Saxon and Priest and Maiden, and you know, uh,
Did
patches
you
all
have
over.
a painted jacket?
Oh, dude, come on.
What did you
Like,
have? What was yours?
let's see. My first one,
Oh, you had a few. I only had
well, my
one.
first one was probably Saxon denim and leather.
Okay.
But then later on in life, I had a motorcycle jacket, and the whole thing was painted on the back, flames and on the sleeves. I was in it.
My only one is the Born Again, but as an adult. So I
Oh,
had him
wow.
as a devil warrior with the flaming sword. You know what I mean? And I had the first Black Sabbath logo, which I always loved. I love that first
That is
logo.
killer.
And I had Man of War painted on the top. I had Raven on the bottom. I had MSG, the MSG Flying V logo here, and I had the Power Slave mummy
Oh,
with
you
the
did?
chain in the
With
mouth
the
right here. And it was my girlfriend that was a phenomenal guitar, artist. They did
artist?
all that stuff, yeah. And
Really?
then as time went on, I got it signed, and I don't. And of course, Ozzy, Gillen, and Dio, I don't have, and Ray Gillen, but everybody else I have. I even have Jeff Nichols.
You
Try to
do.
get Jeff Nichols on anything.
You know what? And I'm probably going to get shot when I say this. I'm going to say it. If you got Ray Gillen on there, to me, I think what he did, what would have been,
I know.
I mean, and that's why
Did you see that?
I did see that.
I didn't see that. I was at the Met. So I got Glenn Hughes. I got Glenn Hughes on there. I was at the Meadowlands show when he walked off.
I was there.
You went to that. So
I
true, Jack. I swear to God, I keep telling the story. True or not true? They played instrumental right after that.
They did.
All instrumental, right?
Yep.
Thank you very
And
much.
then here's the crazy thing about it. I I wasn't I wasn't buddies like with Ray, but I knew
Mhm.
Ray very well. My front of house guy, Carl Davino from Aldo Nova, is our, you know, did all that Rondinelli stuff, all the,
Yeah.
back in the
Sun
day.
Red Sun.
Yeah, so he knew all. So I knew Ray, and as I was walking around Brendan Byrne Arena, there's Ray, of course, with five girls standing next to him because Ray could walk into a room and
Good
he
looking bastard. That's
good
what we
looking
call him.
back. Yeah, he was just he was like the Robert Plant of our generation.
True.
So, you walk in and he's standing there and he's like, you kind of knew something was going on. And you know what, man? The next night, right? They play Connecticut.
Yep.
Do you know? I mean, you probably know this
Oh,
because
they play Nassau too.
then Nassau
They
too,
play
right?
Nassau, right? Yeah.
So I don't think a lot of people know this, but he was rehearsing with them because
Well, I thought that he was going to come out
come out,
because I
right,
knew he was in the wings
right,
at the Meadowlands for that
right.
show
And you know
because
what?
it was Wasp, it was Anthrax, Wasp, Headless Children tour, and
Yep.
seven star. And
Seven star.
the story goes, and the way Glenn wrote it in the book is that he said something to the tour manager, and the tour manager punched him in the face, and blood cascaded down his throat.
Wow.
And he's like, how the fuck are you gonna hit the lead singer of a band on tour? And that's why he sounded like shit because
Wow.
of all this cake blood. That's Glenn's version
But you
of
know
what it
what?
was.
Glenn will say, I have to say, man, I just saw the Daisies in Chicago. Like
Oh, you went to that Deep Purple thing.
I did. I want to thank Ron at the Akata because he's a huge Aldo Nova supporter.
Mm-hmm.
He invited me to the show. He invited me because he knows me and Doug are really good friends. Dude, Glenn is just
Killed
not.
it.
It's just
Killed
not
it.
from this earth. He's not from this earth. But the thing about Glenn is, he said something that night. Talks about all his friends that passed away, Tommy Bolin, all these guys, and he said, I just think it's lovely how he says, I thank God because I'm still here. Dude, he cleaned up his act. Like he
Oh,
did. He's not, I'm not talking bad about Glenn at all. What I'm
he
saying is
admitted to everything.
mad respect because he was able. God bless him, dude. A lot of people can't get that
Dude,
monkey
he
off.
should have been dead in Deep Purple.
He says that. He talked about that. I
You
mean,
know?
yeah, yeah,
So, I mean, he was, the only thing I think is that he wasn't into heroin.
no,
He was a coke guy, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Stuff like that. That's what really killed Bolin was the heroin shit, you know?
Yeah, and honestly, you don't realize too. Like you look back, the whole thing, and like I don't want to say this because it's a touchy situation. The whole Ray Gillen thing, like people like, oh, again, everyone kind of knows how he got
Passed
it.
away. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's a no. It's not like I'm making it up, but
Yeah.
it's sad.
Listen. This is a truthful place, okay?
Yeah,
And this is a conversation, and that's how I feel about this. And I always say this is what the story was. This is what the story I heard is that he knew he was affected,
oh,
and he was still fucking around. That's what I heard, and that's what gave him the bad rep at the end. Because
right,
I heard a lot of people, fuck that guy, blah blah blah. Regardless of that,
right.
he knew, and he wasn't like protecting himself. And that those are the rumors that were going on around that time. True or
And,
not true, Jack?
and that's probably why poor Jake can't get, the Atlantic is burying. Like, I've got friends that, like my friend Charlie from Cal from Angel, he runs Deco. They want to put the Badlands rocket
They
out.
can't. It gets shut down in 3 seconds.
You're never gonna do it. And it's really sad because he was such a phenomenal singer.
Oh,
And you know what, dude? He transmitted AIDS because he was partying. And
right.
I mean, the same as like Robin Crosby. It it's sad. It's when you really think about somebody so talented that they just got the wrong deck
It
of
was of the
cards.
time. It was of the time too, man.
It was.
Listen, who wasn't doing an 8 ball in the fucking bathroom? I mean,
Listen,
shit like
dude,
that. Come on.
I'm going to tell you
Everybody
straight.
was fucking Tony Montana back then, you
You know
know?
what? You know what? If we're going to be truthful, okay, I am no angel.
Neither am I.
I partied. I had fun, but I just never had the urge to try that because
Right.
I felt like people that I knew, I had a lot of friends that were doing it, and to hear from them going, try this, but you'll never get that high ever again. It's like, why do I even, or you're going to, I mean, it's like,
Why are you going to chase it the rest of your life?
that's it. Like, why? It's like guitar players always chasing the Van Halen sound, or
Right.
how's he get that Brown sound, or how's this?
Right.
It's, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's just sad, man. It's just the whole situation is sad. And, a lot of people, but man, that gentleman, he was one of the greatest
And it's
singers
so
ever
funny
touched this
that, I
earth.
mean, it's really weird that we're getting on the Ray Gillen kick because
Really funny. I got my
and
Badlands.
you had your Badlands shirt on, and I just spoke to Carmine Apiece. And Carmine went into Blue Murder after Ray left.
Right.
You know, so I mean, like Ray Gillen was touched so many things, man. He could have been in so many projects and did so many other things that were phenomenal. I mean, dude, uh, you hear High Wire and you hear, I mean, Soul Stealer. When I listen to Soul Stealer and Jakey with that, I'm like, holy! Every single time, still hits you.
Of
Still hits you.
course.
It's
And it
unreal.
and it was really, really something special last year to see Jake where he
I'm
belonged
out.
on the big stage. And you know what, man? I know he has a lot of hand issues and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I have a lot of friends that play with him. And it's very sad because he was, man, don't get me wrong. I grew up with Zach. I grew, where I come from, the Skid Row guys, we're all from this little pocket.
Yeah.
But man, when, Randy to me is, there's nobody else.
Did
There's
you get to
just,
see Randy
no, I never got to see Randy. I
at the Palladium?
dude, I was supposed to go to the Capitol.
Oh, okay.
And I was 13 years old, but eighth grade. And I remember that I can still remember that day when Randy passed away. And you
Hmm.
know what? I will say this. I want to send a really nice shout out to Brian Tishy. Like, no matter what, like Brian is Brian, and I love how Brian is as a person, but he let me be a part of the Randy Rhoads family. I got to do Axes and Anchors Cruise with him on drums, and I played No Bone Movies with Rudy Sarzo on the bass. And then next year I did NAMM, and it was me, Dean Castronova, and Phil Sassoon doing Iron Man and the Children of the Grey with Dewey singing. Like,
Wow.
and I became friends with Randy's sister, dude, and his brother, Kelly. Oh my, I mean, Randy is just, to me, there's an angel was sent down and they just took him they just took him away too quick.
And senseless. Well, you know that story.
Yeah, but you know what? You always
about the pilot itself. But the pilot said that his wife was cheating or something like
right.
that, and he fucking went nuts.
Yeah, yeah.
And he went down and clipped the plane. And it
You
was
know
like,
what? I read that. I read Rudy's book, and okay, I'm not saying I'm friends with Rudy, but one of my dearest friends is Johnny Kelly that plays in Quiet Riot now.
mhm.
And every time I see Rudy, Rudy is always so nice to me. He's such a nice guy. So quick. And hey, Jack, like he remembers me. And like, it's Rudy Sarzo. That's a living legend right there.
Yeah.
And you know what, man? He's just not like that. We sit on the cruises together and, I guess he's a really big fan of Aldo Nova because every time he sees Aldo Nova, and Rudy is, dude, he remembers everything.
Mm.
This guy could tell you. Johnny was telling me he could tell you what he wore at the Palladium. He could tell you what he wore, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
So quick note about that. So Ozzy played two shows at the Palladium that night. He did an 8 o'clock and then a midnight show. Motorhead opened up. It was Ace's Spades tour.
Wow, Fast
Imagine.
Eddie.
And the same night, guess who's at the Nassau Coliseum? Rainbow Straight Between. No, it was Rainbow Difficult to Cure tour.
No,
Same night. I went to the eight, and my friend was a Monster Blackmore guy. So, and he was lucky enough, he saw the fucking Rainbow show, Pat Travers opening up,
wow.
Radioactive tour for Pat Travers, and went to go see Ozzy at the midnight show.
And made the midnight show.
He made the midnight show. Yeah, sure, because it was what, done 10 o'clock, 11
Yeah,
o'clock? They're right over there. And
boom. So
boom.
let me ask you a question. Gotta tell me, was it as magical as everybody says?
You know what? You know what helped? The video that came out of Mr. Crowley and everything, that we knew what he was about.
You mean the
video.
the studio?
Yeah, the studio, the live
With
studio.
Tommy and Rudy. Yeah, right.
Because you knew what was going on. Because you got to remember, the album had Daisley and Kerslake on it.
Yep.
And that's the poster that I had on my wall.
Right. And
All of them looking down on the camera,
right?
all dressed up nice, So that's the image of what you thought the Blizzard of Oz was.
Right.
Now it wasn't until the video to see Aldridge and Sarzo's in it now. So now you have that juxtaposition of what it is, and they're younger.
Right.
They're younger and they fit more, I thought, with Randy too, of
Right.
the youth part of it. And
Right.
then I'm gonna send you, because I have your email now, the two shots I have first row of Randy playing, and Ozzy. I have a picture of Ozzy with his hand.
Uh,
It's and I'm saying, and to have Motorhead open up, dude. I mean, that's oil and water in that sense. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because of what the two albums were. But talk about a powerful night.
I can't imagine.
Incredible. I have do you know there's audio out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody says. You can't tell me there's not video somewhere.
Well, they only had like you ever see the 8mm that was
Yeah.
in the box set?
Right.
That's the Palladium.
What about Don Kirshner's rock concert? Think about this. Midnights. We used to watch all these concerts.
Right. Midnight Special.
Everything was recorded. It didn't matter who they were.
Right.
Sharon could not say no. It was a part of the deal. I'm telling you,
It's in the vault.
it's in the vault.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Oh, Sharon's holding it together." Listen, man, I think you and I both know if there, and I don't want to say this the wrong way, but if there's money to be made out there, someone's going to make that money.
Someone's gonna squeeze that penny.
I don't think Sharon, as much as she loved Randy, she wouldn't do this for the fans. I think it wouldn't even be a cash grab. I think she knows how many people he's touched. Dude, there's 10-year-old kids picking up the guitar now, worshiping Randy Rhoads.
Yeah.
Okay, so think about that legacy from literally 2 albums. I mean, don't get me wrong. Okay, you had the Quiet Riot records, blah, blah, blah. But
nobody knew about them. Other
Right.
than being a Japanese import.
Right.
And knowing, because you got to remember too, back in the day, no internet. If
Nope.
you're lucky enough, again, we were blessed to have, and everybody, I'm sorry we're going on a tangent. We're talking,
Right.
we're going to be all over the fucking place.
This is great.
It don't matter, right?
We're talking about me. This is even more fun.
We're just shooting the shit.
Yep.
So back in the day, I would go to the Village, and you go to Rock and Roll Heaven. You'll go to these places, and listen, Kerrang was your Bible.
Yeah.
Downs was your Bible. You know what I mean? And you would open up and look in the back and go, Jesus Christ, fucking Gillan, fucking Samson.
Yep.
And you're like, all these fucking bands are playing, and they're never gonna come this way.
Nope.
Never gonna play the States. And you would read the reviews of Raven and Mammoth, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yep.
You know? But I'm saying to you that way, that's how you kind of knew that there was a quiet riot with Randy Rhoads.
Right.
Because listen, it was Carlos Cavazo. Mental Health, if anything, a person that's 11, 10 years old, Mental Health's the first album for all they know.
Right.
You know?
But you know what? I had a really nice talk with Carlos. He's such a sweet dude. He's one of the most sweetest, honestly, dude, one of the nicest people you ever could meet. And I was talking to him. I said, man, you really started it for a lot of people. And he's like, what do you mean? I go, listen, man, when that record dropped, it took metal in the States to a new level. What we were longing for that Europe had, like, new wave of British heavy metal, they were way ahead of us. They were already doing it, right?
Yeah.
When Metal Health dropped, it just opened the doors, and the floodgates opened up. All of a sudden, Priest and Maiden and Priest and Maiden were around, but they would tour together. Could you imagine that if Priest and Maiden toured together again?
All right, so here we go. Were you at the Palladium for that?
Not the Palladium.
Did you see the Killers tour?
Of course.
Okay, so then you saw it was Killer. It was them and Priest. Priest was on the head point of entry.
Point of entry.
And Deanna were Killers. That was the first package.
It's funny you say that. I just rented the Deanna documentary.
Yeah.
It was really good. Because I went to go see Rich, my friend Rich Catino from Metal Asylum and stuff. Yeah. So Rich. So me and Rich went to go see the Maiden movie. Thought it was great. Okay, really good. As a fan and a musician, I thought they jumped really fast.
They did. I
I
talked to
wanted it
Dennis Stratton about that
right.
too.
Never talked about
It
Dennis
was it was
Stratton.
like 20 minutes of Blaze Bailey
Boom.
and
Yep.
5 seconds of the beginnings of Iron Maiden.
Right. And like I really thought they maybe there's a director's cut where that is, but I thought as sad as the Diano one was, because oh man, dude, it made me so sad seeing him so sick like that and his
Yeah.
legs. But
Did you get through the surgery part?
yeah, I saw it all.
I
Yeah,
haven't-
that was
I haven't watched it yet.
oh,
Brutal,
dude,
right?
It's pretty brutal. Like I don't know. They put it in there. I was shocked.
There was like no need to put it in there.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. It's like seeing a store movie or something. But it was nice that he got, unfortunately he's not with us anymore, but I think his memory will live on because dude, man.
Do you know that Stratton was playing the Killer stuff on
He
on
was.
that? Yep. That all that stuff was already in the can basically, and they were ready to record, and they got rid of him, and they got Adrian. I mean, come on, come on,
no disrespect,
yeah.
no disrespect. I mean,
Right.
Adrian. I mean, like, oh man,
He brought a lot to the table.
He did, and he still does. I mean,
Right.
I remember I was technically not living in Germany, but I was living in Germany because I was in that band Battalion, and
Yes.
I would. For 4 years, I would go back and forth from, Jersey to Hamburg. And when Brave New World came out, I had the luxury, Halloween opened up for them over there, like a warm-up show. And my manager took me to the show. Dude, Adrian just killed it. It was, you just saw his fingerprints all over that record.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so let's get to you. Let's get back to you. So now, growing up, what was the? I always ask you, what was the seed? Do you have an older brother? Was there friends? What got you into like you could listen? You could have been into the Bee Gees.
No.
Friends Joe. No. I'm saying you could have went that way and said
right.
rock. You could have been because I listen from ABBA to Zappa.
Yeah, me too.
I love everything in between.
Yeah,
I do. I'm a big BG guy. Neil Sedaka. I love all that shit. But I'm saying, what hard rock is in my blood.
Okay, so I had two brothers, Peter and Charles, and my sister Susie. My one brother, Peter, was in the Navy. Okay, so he went away to the Navy and he left a lot of his records in the house. So first thing I saw was Morrison's Hotel. It was sitting there. Okay. I saw Masters of Reality sitting there. That's what kind of, and of course, Zeppelin and all that stuff. But you're going to crack up when I be honest with you and I tell you what really hit it for me. I used to watch Solid Gold all the time. Okay. I love music. I was very much into sports. Like I said, my dad was a Jersey City police officer. But the one night Solid Gold comes on and Hall & Oates were on. Okay. They came out. Your Kiss is on my list. Just popped. Here comes Daryl with this mane, and they do this song. I watched this. Now, most people will say it's Kiss, right? Don't get me wrong. I was in the Kiss Army, but this is before I was into Kiss. I saw that, and I said to my dad, that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And he's like, okay, son. My brother Peter, like, I had different growing up. I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that. But something happened when I saw that video. And then it took me over, man. I was like, I would listen to Casey Kasem all the time.
I still, to this day, I listen to Casey.
Yeah, because it's funny because you would have like Kiss had Dynasty, right? I Was Made came out. But then like on the other hand, you would have Poco on there or you would have the Eagles.
Ambrosia. Atlantic Rhythm Section.
Yeah.
Yep.
Player, all these bands.
Yep.
And honestly, man, I was addicted. Like I knew my dad go, oh, you got the bug. He could tell. Because some people are like, yeah, you're into it. And then it's funny how you talk about, going to New York, blah, blah, blah. So it was different. We jumped on a PATH train, right?
Yeah.
For a quarter. My dad would give me $10. I would never let my kids at 13 years old go on a PATH train to New York. Oh my God.
I know.
And my dad was a cop. Besides all that, like, we used to get off in 8th Street. We walk around, what's the park there?
Washington Square.
Washington Square, where David Lee Roth got busted for the joint. Ha. See how old I am? I say joint.
Well, listen, I said Johnny Pump the other day. Try Google Johnny Pump, you youngins.
You'd be like, what's that? Oh, we would go to, was it Sounds?
Yep.
Right by St. Mark's Place. Dude, I would come home with 10 albums. 99 cents.
I know.
What's this? What's that?
And you can never get the sticker off.
No, never. And you know what? I discovered Mama's Boys. I discovered Raven.
Yep. Tank.
What? Tank.
Tigers of Pang Tang.
Yep. And I remember I always bust Aldo's balls about this. I said, hey, old man. He's like, fuck you. I saw that Fantasy record. I go, what's this? Of course, at first I was like, but I bought it.
Yeah.
And then when I took it home, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. So, I mean, what? I was 68, 78. God, I was 14 years old. Like, those are the greatest times, man.
Yeah.
Well, and I was going, dude, I don't know how it happened, but my dad was taking me to the soap factory. We got lucky because he was a cop. We could go to Brendan Byrne Arena. My dad could walk us in.
Badge.
Just walk right in.
Yeah.
My kid and his friends are here to see a show. Okay, they put us on the side. So I got to see Aerosmith with Crespo in the blizzard. My first concert was Joe Jackson.
Oh my God.
Joe Jackson on the Steppin' Out tour. Like, most people say I saw Kiss. I go, no, I saw Joe Jackson.
So let me ask you, being from Jersey, not many encounters as a teenager with L'Amour's then, right?
Oh my, are you kidding me?
But I'm saying, how'd you get to L'Amour?
Dude, once we got our driver's license.
Oh, okay.
But
then how old are you, Jack, though?
I'm 58.
All right, I'm 59. So that's what I'm saying to you. When you were 14 years old, I was 14 years old and I was seeing Man of War. I was seeing Merciful Fate. You know what I mean? And thank God I'm a big Jooch, like I said. So everybody got online, and back in the day, you had the birth certificate. So me and 5 other guys were like Joey Perez. You know what I mean? And we're 18 years old. And like, you stand over here. You're 18 guys down. You're because when it was a big show,
right?
And then by the 4th or 5th time, we never got thrown out. We never made any problems.
Yep.
The guy saw us at the door.
Yep.
Walked right in because they knew we were okay.
Right.
True or not true?
No, you're true. You know what?
Right.
I had the luxury because I was already playing by the time I was 14, 15.
Oh, okay.
And I played with a lot of guys that were older than me. A good 3-4 years older, okay? Like, so they would go and my parents trusted them to take me to L'Amour's. And then, I became friends with Frank White.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Frank, that was like my Goomba at the time. Yeah. Frank, we would always go to L'Amour's. And then we started to travel out to L'Amour's East. And then, dude, I could probably say if I was
Did
out.
you go to the Paramount?
Of course.
Did you see Venom?
No, I did not.
Did you see what was it? Vandenberg with Metallica?
No, I saw Vandenberg no, I
didn't. The Rods.
I didn't.
That was Vandenberg with the Rod. You see,
Rods.
And that's again, I'm sorry everybody, but we're getting all over the place. Bringing from Brooklyn was like fucking Staten Island must have been Wisconsin.
Right.
If you didn't have a car.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So like I missed out on all that shit. Like I just had Mantis on, and Mantis told me the story, about the Paramount where they blew up the fucking stage.
Yeah.
He told me that whole fucking story. And there was like rumor stories. And he said, no. They said, and they did 2 shows. So they blew up the fucking stage the first night, and they still went on the second night. They didn't they didn't fucking get arrested.
I know. You know what, man? I just have to say I was very fortunate that my friends all went different places. Because, like you said, like it got to the point where I knew George at Lamore's.
Oh yeah.
And he got to know me. See, the difference with me is a little bit, and I always got my balls broke. So I grew up with Mike Sabatini, like all those guys from, Attacker. I knew all those guys. They were all from like Hoboken and Union City, like Gothic Slam.
Yeah.
They all busted my balls because I was the pretty boy. I had the big hair. I was in the Dokken and Rat, and they were always like, "Oh, you're the poser in our group."
Mm-hmm.
When Metallica, what Master came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
We used to go down to Jersey Shore to Point Pleasant or stuff. I'd be the only one dressed like the way I was dressed,
Right.
and they all made fun of me. I said, "You know what? Whatever. I get all the chicks, because you're a bunch." It was always the funniest thing. And then years later,
they look like dirt bags, and you look fuckable.
I look fuckable because I wore more makeup than the chicks sometimes and more hairspray. But what was really funny was years later when I started Seven Witches, and when I got the Savatage gig, they're like, "You of all people would have never thought you'd be in that band when you came from because playing with Alan from Hades and all this stuff. Like I would see all these
Hades. Oh,
and I was the guy
non-fiction.
I love
it. My God.
Love it. So it was really funny because I kind of went that route, but I still love the heavy stuff. Here, I got a good one for you. I worked in North Bergen at ShopRite, okay? I was a young kid, 20 years old. Manowar's playing Lamore's, okay? Everybody, remember SS Steel?
Yes.
Okay, so they were all going. I was friends with Danny and all them. Like, oh, you should come to Manowar. So I show up at ShopRite. Bro, I look at the cover of White Lion. They look at me. They're like, dude, you're going to get fucking killed. So we go to Lamore. 12 o'clock, lights go out. No, nothing for 2 hours. All the classical music.
Oh, I know.
All of a sudden, Manowar comes out, and he's up there, fuck the posers. And my friends are like, you're going to get fucking murdered. You're going to get murdered. And here I am standing with a bunch of chicks. I'm like, I don't know about that. But that was always the fun. I love the AOR, and I love the LA strip bands. That's where I come from. But don't get me wrong. You put me in a corner, I can name every Maiden album.
Right.
Like you were saying, I didn't have, but I just, the guys were in the Raven, the guys were in Metallica, I was just more into the hair bands.
Yeah.
I just don't get me wrong. I think Ride the Lightning is a
but there was some quality shit back then though too. It wasn't like when they started just puking them out and signing sleazebees and fucking this one and that one. It was like,
you know what? I got to say, Bret Michaels said it the best in the one interview. He said, you had the A bands, then you had the B bands, then you had the C, and then the D bands were like, they were just, just signing everybody. But you know what? A lot of those D bands, like Cold Sweat is incredible. Keel was incredible. Like there's a lot of bands that if you got past some of this stuff, I think it was just like, oh, they sound a little bit like Guns N' Roses. Let's sign them. Like,
Junkyard, you have guys like that. Yeah.
Like a band like Law and Order from New York.
Right.
They should have been huge. I mean, Shane, I think the singer's name was, he was unbelievable. And I mean, dude, when Warrior Soul came out.
I know.
Corey,
man. I know, yeah.
Corey was. Talk about amazing hair.
But at the same time, there's Galactic Cowboys.
Right.
Going on at that time, too,
But cool thing about that era, you were able to have so many different bands.
Right.
And it wasn't like,
it was a buffet.
It was a buffet.
You know? Yeah, if you didn't like something, or the same thing, it was like, holy shit, Space in Your Face is fantastic. And then like the next time, you're like, what the fuck happened?
Right.
Because you know what? You know what happened? The record company wanted them commercialized.
Yeah.
They wanted the fucking single. They wanted this. They wanted that because all of a sudden everybody looks like everybody in the mother-in-law is getting a fucking platinum album just for
Right.
fucking looking good,
Yeah.
or that one fucking riff.
Right.
You
But
know?
but you know what, dude? When White Lion first came out,
Oh,
they were badass.
badass.
I mean, this is before they even
The
signed.
Japanese album, the first album.
Well, it was a Grand Slam one, right?
Yeah, but you call it the
Yeah,
Japanese,
the job,
'cause-
dude. I remember right when that came out, and I went to L'Amour's, dude. Tramp was,
yeah,
you know what?
Vito.
Oh, I see Mike every once in a while now because we have a lot. We have the same agent,
Yeah.
Alex from Quiet Riot.
Oh, Grossi, yeah.
Yeah, I love Alex. He books. We're with Sullivan, so he books a lot of the Mike Tramp stuff.
Hmm.
And every time I see Mike, dude, he's such a cool dude. He's like, Jack, it's so great to see. It's like Tony Harnell. We're like old friends. Like we don't, you know what it is, man? A lot of us back then were kind of full of piss and vinegar.
Right.
Okay. Now we're older.
Well, yeah, listen, Jack, you had to be back then. Everything was a prize fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You had to prove yourself.
Yeah.
This guy was that guy, or you're not going to let this motherfucker who's opening up to fucking kill your headline act.
Right.
It was
Right.
everything, and that's why there was fights and this and that. But it was like the only difference between us and rap, you weren't shooting each other.
Right. Correct.
But there was competition. There was healthy competition out there.
And it was cool, man. But I have to say, I do like the way the world is now.
Yeah.
Really like that. You do the Monsters of Rock cruise. Thank God for Larry, man. He keeps that. Him and Sullivan. I mean, honestly, Sullivan keeps it alive, man. Those guys they really keep the music that I love alive. And I gotta say, it's so cool being on a boat with all the fans. They sit down and have dinner with you. And all the other bands. Hey, man, like we just did the Arcada, right, in Chicago.
Mhm.
And Helix opened up for us. And I know Chris, the guitar player, I texted him. I said, hey, if you need to use any of my gear, if you need a guitar for a backup, that's where we're
That's
at.
nice. Yeah.
And he's like, dude, same for us. We tune the same. Whatever you need, my tech or their tech. It's just a different, we know that we're a small pocket now.
Yeah.
And we're just happy to do what we're doing.
I hate to say it too, and we're a fucking dying breed in that
Yeah.
sense, like that's why like I created this show too. To everybody I'm talking to, unfortunately, Jack is in their 70s.
Yeah.
Like I said, Carl, 79.
But he's such a sweetheart.
Oh no, and it's not. It's that there's that history. And I said, and I created the show because there were a lot of interviews going on that either they didn't know who they were talking to. It was
Right.
just about what they were promoting
Right.
at the time, or there was just not the right answers. It was
Right,
like,
of
why would
course.
I go, oh, I would fucking ask that. Oh, why didn't he say that? Why? Bah, 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 bah. And it all went to like 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. I go 2.5 hours.
Right.
And it's because of this right here, Jack, because
Right.
you want to talk about it. I know my shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then like a guy like you goes, wow, this guy knows what the fuck he's talking about. And then that even brings it up because now you feel more comfortable.
Of course.
And then the stories come out. And then, I remember it, like you say, then all of a sudden and I want the war stories. You want this timeline.
But you know what? You get a lot of guys, and I don't talk bad about anybody, but you get a lot of these guys that do interviews and stuff. They start a YouTube channel, they do whatever, blah, blah, blah. But they don't really come from it. Like they looked at Wikipedia, they saw what the band did, and they're asking questions, and you're like, why are you having me on your show? Like you don't really have any knowledge.
Nothing to bring to me.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, dude, I love being a part of shows like this. And like a couple of people said, you should really try to get on a show people and do some stuff with people and talk because you know a lot and you have such a history of that.
You can be here, my brother.
Anytime.
I'm telling you honestly, me and my buddy Tom couldn't be on here, but we're gonna start doing discographies.
Okay.
And like UFO, whatever bands, and we'd love to have you on and have your take on it too.
You call me anytime. Good. I honestly, man, it's been a couple of people have. It's been my chick always says to me, "Why don't you do a show?" I'm like, I don't know. Like another thing for me to try to figure out how to do like the whole studio thing, but I'm just like, it's just like I would rather be a part of something,
Yeah.
which it would be a lot of fun.
Well, you're more
Call
than
me
welcome.
anytime,
You're more than
anytime.
welcome. Thank you. That's
Be awesome.
great.
And you just hit it hard. You said UFO. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go.
A
Like,
big shit. Okay. I every time I do this show, I have to say it. So I'm 12 years old. What do you listen to? And I was same thing. It's the key. 7 years difference. Guy moves on my block in Brooklyn. 7 year difference. I go into his house. I go in his room. He goes, "Hey kid, what do you listen to?" "Oh, I listen to Kiss. I know about Led Zeppelin." He goes, "Shut the fuck down." First song, Rainbow on Stage, Catch the Rainbow. Second song, Strangers in the Night, Love to Love. Third song, Made in Japan, Child in Time. Jack, I was fucking done. I
right?
was done. That
It
was
was like
it.
this.
That was the turning point.
Yep.
And I never looked back.
Yep.
And it's not that I threw everything else away, but that opened up the doors. And I say also, there's albums that I didn't appreciate in my 20s that I listen to now and I go, holy shit, that is a masterpiece.
You're right. You know
You
what?
know?
There's a couple like that maybe I just didn't like take notice of.
Or whatever you were into at that time
Right.
too,
Right. Right. And then you go, wow, this is pretty genius.
You know, like a friend of mine was a big Dream Theater guy. I'm like, fuck 19-minute songs. Get the fuck out of here. Because you know what I was listening to? DRI, Dead Kennedys, Slayer,
Right.
Exodus, because I was past the guitar player shit. And I was
Right. Right.
going
Right.
into
Right. Right. Right.
I was
Right.
into the thrash now.
Right.
And then all of a sudden the 40-year-old wakes up and you know what got me? Portnoy formed the Winery Dogs.
Oh,
And that got me to fucking start really listening to Dream Theater. And now I'm like the biggest shill for Dream Theater.
you know what? I'm just gonna say it. There's guitar players, there's singers, and then there's Richie Kotzen.
I know.
That's it. And you know what?
And
I'm not
still unappreciated in that sense of the music world.
Yeah, I mean, like, he has that taboo thing because he was in Poison. Well, you know what? Screw you. Because you know what? Poison was a great band. I knew Poison when they were Paris. Brett, you know what? We just did the 80s cruise. Brett and Michaels invited me on stage to play with them, Sweet Home Alabama. He's the coolest guy in the world. His guitar players are the nicest people. They are great people all around. You know what? That Kotzen record, get past that you think it's Poison.
Native Tongue's phenomenal.
It's stupid good.
Phenomenal.
And then, the family reunion record that he did after that should have broke. That should have broke. I mean, dude, he's one of these guys that.
Dude, the Mr. Big stuff he did. You get that album, Mr. Big Live in Japan, and you listen to Suffocation.
Yeah.
And then you hear them both, Eric Martin and Richie singing. Oh, it's ridiculous.
What was this single? What was the single from the first Kotzen record with?
With Poison?
No, with Mr. Big.
Good.
So here's a funny story.
I know.
That song is the biggest Mr. Big song ever. Bigger than Green Tinted Eyes, Alive and Kicking. The song that Kotzen brought to the table and they wrote together. What's that song?
I'm gonna look it up now.
He does it in the one.
Shine.
What?
Shine.
Do you know that was a #1 hit in Japan?
Mm.
And Mr. Big is huge. The Kotzen song is the biggest, believe it or not. I bet you people don't even know that.
No.
That's the biggest Mr. Big song ever in Japan.
Because they go to green tinted sleeves and all that bullshit. To Be With You.
Yep. It's all great stuff. I mean, Gilbert's Gilbert.
Yeah.
But that record, I mean, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So when the Winery Dogs happened, that really came. I mean, now you got Billy Sheehan, You got Portnoy and you got him, which was supposed to be John Sykes, as it
Dude,
is
I
too,
would love,
to hear the demos, right?
because Mike said there's probably 10 to 12 songs that are sitting there, and
Well, Portnoy owns them, but Portnoy probably has them.
no, he doesn't.
He don't have the material.
They were saying that everything was in on reel to reel in Sykes'
Oh, in
studio.
the studio.
And, that's a,
So the family owns it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you see what they're doing with
That golden robot.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that came out, I mean, to me, it's almost like Prince. Like, man, you have all these songs. What are you really doing? Like, what are you doing? You're not letting the fans hear it because you're being money grubbers. Like, dude, if you don't want, if that's the problem, just release them for free.
Right.
Let
Well,
them,
well, I had Frank Marino on.
wow.
Okay. So your wow tells me how you feel about Frank Marino. Okay. So I had Frank on too, and Frank has archives, video and audio. He's got a blues album he never put out. I go to Frank, I go, Ted Nugent just started a thing, a yearly membership. Yeah. Oh, I go, Frank. Even a fucking go. He goes. I go. Is the album completed? Oh, it needs this and needs that. I said, Frank, do a fucking GoFundMe. I said, I go on YouTube. I go, they got 35,000 followers on your YouTube. You don't think everybody will give you $1, Frank? You don't think $35,000 would help release this shit? And I said to him, I said, listen, Frank. I said, I'll help you any which way. I said, what are you gonna do, Frank, when you're dead?
Yep.
And you're going to leave it to somebody else, and they're not going to know what the fuck
They're
to
not
do
going to know
with
what to
it.
do. They're not going to fix it. You know
Right,
what?
Jack?
If you ever talk to Frank again
Yes.
and he wants to release it, I can promise you, Charlie at Deco, Carmine's on Deco. He has a bunch of records. I'm telling you, Charlie do backflips. Backflips. All
Well,
right,
you know what? After this, give me his information. I'll forward it to him.
I will.
Absolutely.
Because honestly,
That's what I said to him. I said, Frank, you have all this great material. I said, even with that, you could do it the way what Ted's doing. Every month, a new show, a new concert comes out, a live concert, demos, this and that.
great.
I said, they'd be eating it up. I mean, the guy's playing in Montreal next month. He hasn't played in 17 years. He's doing a free concert in Montreal.
You know why I know that? Because Aldo is a huge Frank fan. Like, Aldo likes who he likes, but Frank is like somebody, he's like, I know Aldo's going to that because he was like, he's ecstatic. I mean, we should be opening up for that. We should be just doing that I go, I'll do that for nothing. Oh, sorry, here's my dog.
Hi, baby. What's her name?
His name is Remy.
Remy. Hi, baby.
Hello, Remy. Yeah. I always had big dogs, big, boxers, labs. And then this guy came along. We just started to watch him and kind of fell in love, man. Like little Maltese. He's just cool, like a little fur ball.
I got a teacup Yorkie.
Oh, you do? Okay.
She's literally that big.
Oh, my God.
14.
He only weighs 6 pounds. He's only 2.
Yeah, she's 3 pounds.
The little ones are so sweet.
But they think they're Barker or no Barker?
More like a little Yelpy.
Well, this one thinks she's a pit bull when there's people in the house. Oh,
this one thinks 80 pound. I went to my niece's house for July 4th and she has 2 pugs. This guy thinks he's the boss. He's like in their face yelling at them. I'm like, calm down there, will you? Chill out.
Well, let's get back to you again. So now, did you learn by ear?
At first, I had I still have a cousin.
You had lessons in the beginning, I guess, right?
Well, it's pretty funny. My brother was getting married, okay? And I was young. So maybe I was 12. And I went back then you didn't really go to the reception, right? So my dad's side, they're Irish. Last name is Dempsey, right? So the Irish. And my Mary Beth took me to the wedding, and then her boyfriend, his name was David Westray. Never forget this. They're married. They're still married. So go to my niece's house, my cousin's house. Here comes this guy looked like Jimmy Page. He was cool as shit. I'm like, who's that? Like, oh, that's my boyfriend David. Pulls out a 25th anniversary silver Strat Fender, starts playing. Talk about Hall Notes and that. He would teach me. I would go over there once a week. He would show me, and then I started to take lessons. I didn't enjoy my lessons because the teacher, all he wanted to do was teach me songs. He didn't want to teach me anything. So I started to learn by ear, and that's kind of where it went. And back then, listen up, kids. We didn't have YouTube, and
No.
here's how you play Smoke in the Water.
Like this.
And that was it. Yeah, we used our ears. Like, so the kids today is like, makes me very sad.
Yeah.
They don't have any heart. I'm sorry. I mean, that's a terrible thing to say, but I can learn.
Keyboards, the tabs, everything's out there for you already to do.
I talked to Charlie about that. He's like, dude, I had to bust my ass learning, try to get those sounds like Keith Emerson and John Lord. You didn't just hit a computer and, oh, I want it to sound like this.
Right. Crazy shit.
Yeah, so I learned by ear at first, and then later on I went for more lessons. And
what was your first model? What was your first guitar?
Oh, wow. My dad brings me home. I've been told him I want a guitar. Brings me home this banged up Yamaha acoustic, okay? So I'm lefty, all right? So he brings me home this guitar, normal righty guitar. I go, what am I supposed to do with that? He goes, well, you wanted a guitar. So I learned to play righty when I'm left-handed.
Wow.
And it was a very cool thing because if I'm lefty, I'm going to play like Tony Iommi, right? So I learned this way. So my picking hand that would have been is my fingering hand.
Right.
And my right, I have a very strange way of picking. People go, how do you do? I do a weird circle thing, almost like Marty Freeman. So it kind of worked in my behalf. And I didn't string it upside down like Jimi Hendrix would have done. I played traditional. So wow. I had this crappy acoustic. And then I think I got a Hondo.
I think everybody starting might have had a Hondo.
And they're worth like $2,000 now because people are like, oh, yeah, they're Hondos, of course. Right?
My first guitar was a Kramer Striker.
Oh, I've had those, later on.
Yeah.
Later on, I got the Kramers and but then like I said, my dad was real supportive. Like I got a, this will be a bad one to tell you. I had #1 Randy Rhoads.
No kidding.
I had 0001. He had all the prototypes. I traded it because I needed an amp. I find out that guitar is probably worth $80,000 now. I had number 3. Like it was Randy's, the prototype, and the one I got. I bought it at Sam Ash in New York City on 48.
Yep. I think I went to Manny's and got my my Striker.
Did you? We used to go to. There's a place in Union City that Pastori's Music. We used to go there a lot and buy stuff. Yeah, crazy, man, crazy.
And so, did you automatically take off? Wise, I mean, like a duck to water playing guitar?
No, I sucked.
Yeah, it took you time. It took a while.
Time. Like some guys I knew just could.
Did you leave it in the corner for a while too?
No, I couldn't.
So you were attached. Okay,
I was attached, but I watched all these guys, and so I was a little fat kid. Okay, I was 12 years old, 240 pounds, and short. So I played sports. I was so fat that I had to wear sweatpants to my little league because they couldn't find pants for me. And I hurt my knees when I was 13 years old playing sports. I had something called Osgood-Schlatters disease where your knee bones tear off, and I had to cut my knees open and shave down the bone. That was it for me, brother. I sat in my room and I just played. And then all of a sudden, the guys that were 17 and 18 and I was 14, I was coming in playing Crazy Train and I Don't Know and Mr. Crowley. And I just couldn't
you were ahead of the curve then.
I was into it, man. Right. I was into it.
Wow. And what was your first, was Seven Witches your first professional band?
Like first real professional band, like
Yeah, like going to the studio or recording
probably
and stuff.
my first band, Frostbite.
Oh, okay.
We had 3 albums out, and you watch, like the first album was very like hair metal. The second album was very Queensryche. And the third album, we toured with Overkill on that album. It got really heavy. And that's at the end of that band is how Seven Witches
Oh,
became.
okay. And how did you come up with your persona of your name?
Okay. So, true story is, like I said, I grew up in Jersey City. And yes, kids, we walked to school in the snow and all that stuff. We didn't have days off. So one day I was outside playing for hours. And my mother's a little Italian lady. She like, Jackie, you got to come in. You're going to get sick. I stayed outside. I came inside. I came in after hours of not listening to her. I took off my clothes to dry off. Dude, my body was red. They took me to the hospital. I got frostbite.
Mm.
And my mother looks at me and she goes, you see, Jack Frost? I told you. And that's what did it.
And it's stuck for you, or
I just remember my mom always saying Jack Frost. And that was it. I go, oh, that's a great hair name.
right?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Pretty funny.
And making the albums, because you got, is it like seven or nine? How many albums did you actually make with Seven Witches?
10.
Wow.
Yep. I
And
have 55 albums to my name. Yeah, people don't realize that, like, between Seven Witches, Bronx Casket, Speed,
right.
Battalion, I mean, it's crazy.
And did you guest on stuff too, Jack?
A lot of tribute albums I guested on.
Did you ghost on any stuff?
What?
Did you ghost on any stuff?
I did, but I just rather be cool.
No, but I'm saying, but you have.
I was 20 living in LA. I went to a summer classes for GIT. I didn't want to be the full thing because I just wasn't into the whole sweeping thing. I was more of a Randy, Dave Menichetti, Shanker, Sykes, Kevin Livegren, Neil Schon, Neil Girardo. I was more a melodic player, but I could also, if I had to shred, I shred. But I did some really cool bands that I got called in for, and really proud of it, actually.
And who'd you tour with Seven Witches? Did you have
Well,
opening slots?
I guess the biggest thing we ever did was so Overkill released From the Underground and Below.
Mm-hmm.
We did that US tour.
And you had solo. So then after all said and done, then you did your own solo albums?
Well, after Frostbite ended, I started Seven Witches.
Yes.
And I became really good friends with Dee Dee Verney. And Dee Dee,
right.
We did the Bronx Casket. And then I was working with a label in Germany called Massacre. And they're like, oh man, if you have anything else, I love Annihilator. Oh my God, dude, I cannot believe I'm getting old. The record with Aaron, Set the World on Fire. I love that record. I reached out to the singer and we did a band called Speed. It was all on Massacre. And from there, it just trickled. Like Chris Caffery from Savatage was in a band called Battalion with Mike Tirana.
Right.
He couldn't do the tour for the first record. And Seven Witches broke in Germany and Casket broke and all these bands broke. Chris calls me up and goes, hey, I think I got something for you. Sorry, dude, that was weird.
No, you're good.
Okay. Chris said to me, listen, I think I might have something cool for you. I can't do this tour. Would you be interested? They're on Massacre. And thanks to Chris, I joined the band. And then TSO took off and everything took off. And he just couldn't commit. And it wasn't a bad thing. He loved the band. That first record's great. They asked me to stay on. I stayed on, and it kind of trickled. Like I did Battalion tours. I was over in, and Seven Witches started the break, so I would go over there with Seven Witches. I got really lucky, man.
I was working with Tirana.
I never got to work with Mike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we became really good. It was funny because Mike, where Battalion rehearsed, was in a bunker in Hamburg. We rehearsed there. Running Wild rehearsed there. Halloween rehearsed there. Yeah, it was really cool, man. Here, what, man, was I was a kid. I go over, well, not a kid, but for me, it was a big eye opener going over from the States to Germany. And, you know, all the bands I loved were at the same bunker.
Did you go? Did you come home with $1 in your pocket though, or did you break even? How was it?
I got to say, man, I was treated very well. And I never had to pay to play back then. I was very, very, but you know what? Also, I wasn't a partier like we talked about. I
Yeah.
was blowing my money on booze, and I blew my money on CDs and guitars.
Right. Right.
But back then, life was different. Jackson would give me 10 guitars a year. You know, it was Engel would give me a wall of amps. Now it's like, you know, we'll give you artist pricing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just different. Just different.
That's amazing. That must have been your. What was your first endorsement?
Ooh, that's a good one. My first endorsement. I would say Hamer Guitars.
Wow.
Like when Hamer was
Hamer was Hamer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like
I love that neck. I love the oh, I loved it. I love where the tuning pegs
dude,
go.
I I look back now, I had a 76 Hamer Standard Explorer. Same one that Pete Willis had.
Mm.
You know what they're going for now? Dude,
What'd you do with that one?
I sold it.
Well, did you feel after a while too you had too many guitars? It was one of those deals that you're never gonna play with this one, and
there was a time I had 50 guitars in a closet.
wow.
Yep. You know what? You look back at like this. If I didn't do this, I can never say I got to do it. So you kind of like, I talk to a lot of guys like from other bands, and we all talk about it. And we're like, you know what? At the time, it was a part of it. You know, like you would endorse somebody for a year and then go to this company, go to that company. It was kind of like, it's almost how the NFL has become.
Yeah.
And remember when we grew up, we liked the football team. The players stayed on that team. Not now.
Right.
You know, you look at someone like John Sykes. He played his black Les Paul. That's what you remember him from. Now it's like you played it for 6 months and then you played something else.
All I remember is Richie with the white Strat.
I mean,
you know,
how iconic is that?
Right. Right. You know, and did they approach you, Jack?
Hamer?
Or Jackson or that, or
Well,
as time went on, were you
yeah,
approached?
it was starting to be the point where people would contact me and say, hey, would you be interested in checking my product out? And yeah, man, we were terrible. It was where we made money too. We would get 10 guitars and then somebody else would, and he had all these guitars, you would sell them.
Sure.
And,
Yeah.
you just kind of.
Did you have to use them in promotions though? Did you have to do?
Dude, I was in so many ads for Jackson or for BC Rich or like Voodoo Amps and Gary Kramer guitars. It was fun, man. It was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And when did the chick come into this? Were you with a lot of chicks and then you met the one, or did you meet her later in life? How did that work out?
You know what, dude? There were a lot of stupid things I did growing up, man. It was a different time.
Well, listen, when you're that young and things are going on, no one should be in a relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's like I said, like.
But you got to remember something. Back then, nobody called a chick a whore, okay?
No.
Because what they were doing was the same thing we were doing, okay? Oh, that chick's a whore. Why? Because she got on the bus and she, banged the lead singer. you were banging the other girl the other night, so you have nothing to say.
And let me tell you something. She was the one that wanted to bang the lead singer.
Right, right. There
No
was
one, no one's putting a gun to nobody's head.
nope,
Hello.
nope. But you see all these things coming out now that, I'm just happy where I am in my life now. Like, I have beautiful kids. I'm very happy where what my life became
Right.
because,
Well, you progressed into it.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, that's what it is. That's what it
You
is.
find the one that you can watch, get in the car with, watch a movie with. That's what you want now.
Right.
Dude, you were at the Triumph show. Nobody's looking to get laid anymore. It's not like that. Nobody, everyone is just cool.
We're lucky we got a glass of water backstage.
It's funny, like Mark from April Wines, like, Jack, do you want anything? You need anything? Because I'm good friends with Mark. And like,
Yeah.
I'm like, if you got a diet soda, he comes out, he goes, dude, they're all gone. I got a water for you. I'm like, that's fine, Mark. But, and it was so cool connecting with you at that show because, dude, I got to meet Rick Emmett. He was just so nice to me. And just, and I know Kearns and I know Fitz and I know all those guys. And I was sitting there talking to Phil. We're just talking gear the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, you guys done talking about gear? We still love it. We still love that stuff. We just love it.
How, how'd you get with DD? Was DD on a break with Overkill?
So what happened was Dee owned a studio in Red Bank called Gear Rehearsal. Okay. I would go there and rehearse sometimes with Frostbite. And it was weird. Me and Dee started to talk and he was listening to my band and he goes, I don't know, one night I said to him, hey, if you ever need anybody to watch your studio, because I know you go on tour, we kind of hung out. He was a Giants fan.
Mm-hmm.
And he loved Lita Ford, and we talked about Lita. And I started to work there. So one day he goes to me, hey, I'm thinking about putting together this kind of like typo, nonfiction kind of thing. I'm like, oh, I love that stuff. He goes, you do? I go, dude, I love the fucking first nonfiction record. And I always tell Alan that.
I still play that, the preface, right?
And I love In the Known too, because that's
In the nose, the shit.
so I wrote a song for my solo record and I thought of Tecchio and I thought of like Kevin Bolenbach, the bass player. And they came in the studio and we fucking did this song. That's how Kevin and Alan became Seven Witches because of what we did. Yeah, so me and Dee just became really good friends. And there was I think what really that kind of put an end, like that we're just buddies. He was away on tour and his wife and his daughter was at their house. They lost power and it was the winter time. I went down there and brought them a generator out of nowhere. That was the moment that we became brothers because it wasn't about the music. It wasn't about money. It was about family.
Yeah, you were looking out.
Dee and Blitz will always be two of my friends that are real friends. Like, it's a different level. You know what I mean? So
that's nice. And pretty good success, right?
Casket?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, I think what kind of killed it, Overkill was really riding high, man.
Right.
They were doing good. And poor Dee, he couldn't be away from his family more to do this. We did some amazing shows. We opened up for Loudness a few times. We did a bunch of headlining shows. It just was, we were really close to opening up for Typo, which would have been great. And Johnny will tell me because Pete was really good friends with our singer, Mike Hideous. And he goes, oh, yeah. And we always joke around now. We say, hey, we always tell Johnny, if we ever do a Casket show, we want to do like just a reunion show. We're like, you're playing drums. He's like, count me in. Because that's right up his alley,
Yeah. And we were talking about the Savatage Poets of Man. You came in on that tour, right?
Yeah. So what happened was, again, 7 degrees of separation. I'm a huge Sabbath fan. Beyond belief. One of the big Savatage fans gave me this necklace. I wear it. I don't know if you can see it.
Pick it up. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Only a few people have these guys in the band, and this is to my heart.
Have you met Chris? Did you ever meet Chris?
Oliva?
Yeah.
No. I had a friend of mine named Lisa Sharkin, right? I used to work at We Buy. It's funny, we talk about 48th Street. I used to work at We Buy Guitars. So Lisa was really good friends with Chris, like really good friends. What happened was I was on tour with Italian. Caffery reached out to me and said, hey, you should come home really quick. Something's going on. And I think this might be good for you. And I said, well, dude, I can't just leave a band that I'm on tour with. It just wouldn't be cool. I wouldn't do that to anybody. He's like, Jack, you're going to blow something that could be really good for you.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Chris, I just can't be that guy. So a couple of weeks go by. I come home and Chris calls me. Goes, listen, off the record. I can say it now because, he goes, Petrelli's joining Megadeth. I'm like, wow. He goes, we're auditioning guitar players for Savatage. I said, oh. And then he started to tell me some of the guys that they were going to check out. I said, dude, don't even waste your time. Like those guys are beyond me. He goes, see, dude, that's why we like you. Because you don't have this ego.
Yeah.
So week goes by, I get a call. What are you doing right now? 3:00 in the afternoon. I said, I'm home. He goes, tomorrow night, you got to come out to SIR in Manhattan. We want you to audition. Here's a couple of songs. Chris calls me up privately, trying to give me some pointers. Here's what about we're doing. So I show up at SIR. I walk in. First person that I see is the Mountain King, John. And he puts his arm around me. He goes, how you doing, Frost? I'm like, I'm good, man. So unfortunately, Johnny couldn't be there for that. So it was just a drummer, Jeff. It was John and Chris. And of course, Paul O'Neill was around. Mm-hmm. So I walk in and John looks at me. He goes, so are you a fan? I start rattling off old songs. He looks at me. So I'm going to tell you, dude, we did a little bit of Dead Winter Dead. We did a little bit of Strange Wings. We did a little bit of Mountain King. And that was it. They're like, all right, thanks, Jack. Thanks for your time. Really appreciate you coming down. And that was it. I walked out of the room, drive back home, and I said, yeah, I definitely didn't get that gig because you just can feel it, right? Great story. The new L'Amour's opens up, the little L'Amour's, right?
Yeah.
So the stage was on the other side. I go see my friends in Symphony X, okay? So Chris was there that night because he's really good friends with Russell. And, of course, I grew up with Romeo. They're all brothers. I'm standing there. I'm like, hey, Chris, how you doing, man? Hey, we're about ready to see the show. Goes, come here. I got a phone call for you. It's John Oliva. He's like, all right, Frost, you ready to join Savatage? I'm like, what? That's how I found out I got the gig.
Wow.
Yeah.
And were they ready to go on tour?
Okay,
did you need tightening up? Did you have to?
No, they didn't even start rehearsing yet. So I got I got the gig in March. Chris was so good to me. I would drive to his house in Queens. We would go over the stuff. I would learn stuff on my own. And then he would fine tune me because he learned a lot from Chris Oliva.
Yes.
Like, remember when Chris joined Savatage, he was a young kid.
Yep.
And I want people to know that. If anybody thinks anything differently about Chris, fuck you. Because you know what? He believed in me and took a chance on me. Like, really, that's funny. That's two Savatage songs I just hit out of nowhere. I took a chance and believed in me. And you know what, man? It was the greatest time of my life. I became so good friends with those guys. We had Damon Janaya singing. He was incredible. He could do the John stuff, the Zach stuff. And honestly, every night I got to look over and see John Oliva. And Jeff Plate, he was one of my favorite people to hang out with. Every morning we would have breakfast together, just hang out. And
That's cute.
yes,
That's cute.
I got a monkey on my back. I got a Maltese. All right, you gonna sit down?
That's all right. You can keep him.
He's all right. He's just hanging. But honestly, dude, I never felt like I was an outcast. They really loved me because I was such a fan of.
Right.
I wasn't some guy that just wanted to be in the band.
Yeah, you're appreciative of the music itself.
Right. And when I was in the band, we did so much of the old stuff. And and Middleton, man, I hung out with Johnny. It was such a great time of my career. And the fans opened their door to me and treated me like I'm so happy for them. How TSO took off. I'm so happy that they're over Europe right now. They're doing great, man. And what?
Let me ask you that now. Was there a possibility of a door opening for you to do TSO in that sense too? Was there ever a talk
there
about?
There might have been a little bit, but when Petrelli came back, I think, both sides, it was a little bit weird. And I'll say it, I was really upset. I was really devastated. And maybe I should have handled it a little bit better at the time. But you know what, man? It was better the way it went. You know what? TSO took off and Skolnick was perfect for that. Really, Alex was great for that. And I just feel that maybe I should have been a little bit more professional. Maybe they should have talked to me a little bit more at the end. But again, I'm not throwing stones at anything.
Yeah.
Because what we did when I was in the band, man, it was great. That Savatage never toured as much as they toured on Poets in 20 years. So I'm very proud of it. And I thank those guys from the bottom.
And did you have the big production also with the show? Did you guys play the States?
Dude, we did 2 major tours. The first tour, we had Fates Warning open up for us. Sold out every night. The next tour, we had Nevermore open up for us. Sold out every night.
Wow.
But then in Europe, dude, we were doing Gods of Metal with Motorhead, us, Wasp, Megadeth. We would see Petrelli all the time. It was funny because
you were doing festivals, right?
All the festivals.
Yeah.
And then I think then we headlined and we took Vicious Rumors out with us and Blaze Bailey out with us.
Oh, wow.
But the biggest tour we did, Demolition Tour, we opened for Priest. All of Europe. And honestly, dude,
that must have been a trip for you, man, right?
It was a trip for all of us because me and Caffrey be sitting there just watching Glenn and fucking KK every night. Dude, Chris was my roommate. We hung out all the time and we were really good friends. And, I'm sorry to say that sometimes people and things, and it probably kind of hurt some of our friendship, but I'm so glad that everything is great now. I see Chris all the time because I'm playing with Aldo. He plays with Doro, or I see somebody else, and I see them. And dude, I go see TSO every year now, and I go backstage. I see those guys, and it's just my kids are always like, "That's so cool!" It's really nice to make amends when things are a little sour at one time, and I hope people don't put this up and say, "Oh, I was sitting there bashing them," because I'm not bashing them.
You're not. I'm saying I didn't hear one bad thing. You said you felt bad that you thought you had the gig, and then Al comes back and they take out where and like and we said on the record, you said Paul O'Neill did want to see if the three
It
worked.
couldn't work. But you know
Right,
what? Savatage is not a three guitar player, man.
right, right,
And you know what, dude? That was Al's gig.
right.
He
And
deserved that.
Savatage started as a one guitar band
Right,
to begin
right,
with.
right. So
You know,
I look at as Al deserves to be there. And you know what, man? After Paul passed away, Petrelli is like the Paul O'Neill of that band now. Like he's, so you know what, man? I hope they fucking sell out everywhere they play. And you know what? When they do tour the States, I promise you I will be there.
I hope they do. I mean, they're doing a lot. I'm shocked they haven't been here yet.
Well,
You know?
I think the problem is when they would want to tour here, TSO is so busy. And like you can't give up the festivals in Europe.
Well, I had Angus Clark on.
I'm gonna go see him tomorrow night.
Oh, I'll be there.
You
I'm coming to Sellersville. See? Yeah, I'm taking the 2-hour trek out there.
Well, well, Freeman and me are asshole buddies. I
love Andrew. Andrew's a pisser.
And
Andrew made this show on put the show on Blabbermouth.
He did. He's good.
Talking about Last in Line,
Yeah.
He's great. When you got a chance, go back and watch some of the shit that I've done on here. Now that I know the way I know you, Jack, you're gonna enjoy this, especially now you see how I am.
I can't. Yep.
You'll enjoy it, and I have stuff on iTunes and Spotify too, so you don't have to tolerate looking at my mug the whole time.
Oh, stop it.
All right, you know what? I want to get to Aldo Nova, how the origins of that, and I want to promote the new stuff because we're at the 90-minute mark as it is too, and I don't want to. I don't want to burn you out. So let's talk about so now Aldo comes out of retirement. Were you part of the Aldo out of retirement, or you came afterwards?
I'm going to say this. I'm going to give myself a little pat on the back. I think I kind of pushed Aldo a little bit. And I don't care saying that because that's my brother. And he will tell you I'm it. Okay. So
how this relationship started at the beginning?
Okay.
Let's go from the get-go.
All right. It's easy. It's really easy. It's like super easy to explain it. So COVID hits, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm stuck at home. I make the Brothers in Arms record. I'm working on the singer from Metal Church's solo album. Ronnie,
Mike
Ronnie
Howe?
Monroe.
Was Mike Howe you did?
No, I did the Ronnie Monroe solo record after Metal Church.
You did let me ask you that. How is it to work with him?
He's a sweetheart.
Is he?
Well, I know. Again, don't believe everything everybody.
Again, it's not what we believe. It's what we know from what we hear.
You know, dude.
Listen. Like they say, there's 3 sides to the story. There's his and the fucking truth.
And the truth. At the end of the day.
And I always say remember the telephone wire game? You stub your toe, but by the end of the thing, your foot get amputated.
Yep. So easiest way of saying this. He has a vision and he believes in his vision. So why do you have to motherfuck him? And you know what? The Metal Church albums with him are incredible. But you know what? My hat goes down to Kurt. Because you know what? Those first few Metal Church albums, there's no words for them. They're incredible. Mm-hmm. Incredible. Kurt, like Wolf Hoffman, they have their vision.
Yes.
You can't get mad at somebody. You can't. But you can't come into a situation and try to change it.
Right.
You could.
You can't do like new sheriff in town.
Yeah. Because there's no sheriff, buddy.
Right.
While you were.
Right. Because the other sheriff's still alive.
Still alive. Right. So what happened was this. I was doing all these records at home. Aldo puts a video out for Survivor. Okay. A new song. And I was like, this is friggin' awesome. And he had Tim Gaines on bass from Stryper at the time. I'm like, wow. So I don't know, man. I got some balls sometimes. I'm not a big Facebook or Instagram guy. I'll put a couple of things up, whatever. My kid playing football or what shows I'm doing. So I reach out to Aldo Nova. I said, hey, man, you don't know me. My name's Jack Frost. I played in Savatage, Lizzie Borden. I played guitar for Joey Belladonna from Anthrax on his solo tour, blah, blah, blah. I just want to say I've been a fan of yours for a very long time. It's so great to see you back. You know, people don't realize how many songs you wrote, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, I send him this email. Whatever. I'm never going to hear from him, right? Half an
It's
hour
gonna go
later.
into spam.
Half an hour, literally a half an hour later. Is this really you? Like, are you just a fan trying to get an autograph? Like, blah, 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 blah. I said, no. He goes, well, why don't you Instagram me or Facebook? I'm like, I don't have Facebook. He goes, you don't have any of this stuff. I go, no. He goes, okay. I go, here's what I can do. I sit in my phone. I make a little video. Hi, Aldo. This is Jack Frost. Here I am in my home studio. I email it to him. Goes, send me your phone number. Send me my phone number. We start talking. Hour goes by. 2 hours go by. We're just talking. Out of nowhere, he goes, I'm thinking about playing again. I go, you should, man. The fans would love it. I go, please, let me know. I'll be at the show. He goes, oh, no, you won't be at the show. You're going to be my guitar player. That's how it happened.
Wow.
And to God. That's it. I always ask him this, and he will tell you this. If you do it, you should. I'm going to hook you up with him. You
love to talk to him.
You should get him on your show.
Right.
He said to me, Jack, I've been out of the scene for a very long time. I don't know anybody. Can you help me put a band together? That's how it happened.
Yeah, because you have a pretty good Rolodex too now. You know,
I do.
people that you know.
But they're not just people, they're my friends, like my
right.
friends. Like,
and you know who's reliable too.
You know the fuck ups. You know the guys that are gonna cause drama. Dude, all Aldo said to me was
like he's a duck out of water. It's like him starting the whole another new chapter in his life, right?
Right.
And you really gotta baby him in the beginning, right, Jack?
Right. He knew what he was doing. He didn't need my help, but he just didn't know the guys anymore.
Yeah.
Like, so I told him about Dario. I told him about, Michael, whoever. Dude, he called him up and he goes, in. There was no auditioning. He knew they were good players. He took my word. And to this day, that's my brother from another mother. He really believed in me, man. He trusted me. And
did you guys fly out to Canada?
So me and Dario flew out to Montreal to shoot videos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we had to get all this paperwork because it was still during COVID. It was a real hassle. And that's how it went. And then he got offered a gig to do 80s in the Sand in Cancun. He flew to New Jersey. We rehearsed for a week at my God. Oh my God, dude. At the time it was called Mexicali Live.
I know you're talking.
Oh my God, dude. I cannot believe I can't think. I go there all the time. Debonair Music. Debonair. So my friend Diane and her husband Jimmy, they're like, you guys should rehearse here. They let us rehearse there. It was incredible, dude. It was incredible. And 5 years later.
It's that long now, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
And if I want to be honest with you, it's the same guys. There's no drama. We just love each other and we have the best time. Best time.
And what's his new music or anything? What's the idea?
He put out a couple albums that were already kind of in the thing, but he has been working on a new album that's going to kind of take you back to where he came from.
Okay.
But you know how the industry is, and I don't want to say it like this. You put out a full album. Is it worth it? I think it's worth it for the fans.
Well, I think a 4 song EP probably goes a lot longer now, Jack. A long way, especially if you have 4 or 5 really fucking tight, great fucking songs instead of filler
Right.
two
Right.
with its 8-track album, you know.
Right.
But the
But no,
problem is, I keep and it's true. Back in the day, you would have the single come out of anything, and then maybe 3 to 4 weeks later, the album will come out.
yep.
So it's still relative. Where these guys are putting shit out in March, and the album's not coming out till fucking November.
Yep.
And they give it 3 tracks, 3 tracks per,
Right.
and then I think it dies on the vine.
It does.
Because
It does.
no one gives a shit anymore.
Nobody gives-
Or I would go on my iTunes, I pick up my phone and go on, oh, what came out? The new Deep Purple. How long's the fucking Deep Purple gonna last? The new Splat album.
Right.
Other than the diehards.
Right. Right.
Like I said,
Yeah.
Bon Jovi was #1 for a fucking week.
It's not
Five
like
singles out, and then #1, and then dies the following week because the top 200 drops off.
at the end of the day, man, release a song, release a couple songs, and then you can play them live. Don't play the whole new album live. People get pissed off.
Right,
Right.
right. Don't do
So,
a matter of life and death.
right. And so that's what we're going to probably do, play a song or two live.
Right.
But Aldo keeps every few shows, we add stuff, we take stuff away. He'll do stuff off, Blood on the Bricks. He'll do stuff off the debut record. Eddie Gage. He'll just, whatever. Like it's so much fun.
When's the next time you get back together?
We're off for the rest of July, but then August and September we're slammed. Midwest in August. We go to Canada, playing with Quiet Riot in August. Then September we're doing like New Hampshire and Boston. We're trying to get to New York and New Jersey. With this, I will say this: if there's a promoter that wants us to play, because I'm so tired of hearing the fans, when are you going to play New York or New Jersey?
Well, what's the again? People. What's the problem with Irving? What's the problem with Gramercy? What's the problem with Stony Hall?
I don't know. They won't take a chance on it, I guess.
I mean, you see Joe Schmo and the fucking assholes playing there on Sunday nights, and then Aldo Nova can't fucking play?
Dude, I don't get it. I don't
get
get
it.
it. We have
Well, even like the Newton. Why can't he play a fucking Newton?
You know what? We have a date off in September. We're 2 hours away from New York. I mentioned him, and I'll say this: if anybody hears this, we have a date off in September. We could definitely play, and people would freak out.
Right.
It's the only tri-state area show we've done yet. We play Connecticut. How do we not play New Jersey or New York?
Right. Do you have within the 5 years? Have you yet?
Not once.
Unbelievable.
But we'll play Vegas and LA all the time.
Unbelievable. Because I know his first official interview was with Trunk.
Right.
Right. That said he's back out in the world again.
Right.
And I can't believe, especially Trunk is New York based in that sense.
Our agent group is Big Time Entertainment. Sullivan Big, call him up. Tell him you want, dude, we have a date. We're here. You don't got to fly us in. We're already here. We're 2 hours away.
Right.
Do it in a heartbeat.
Right. Stupid.
Yep.
All right, my man. So let's promote some stuff here now. You say you got the Night Terror album that came out with, and who's on? You want to say who's on there?
Okay, so this is a EP, 6-song EP. It's Jason McMaster from Dangerous Toys on vocals. Oh, we did a great job. It's kind of like Seven Witches is kind of put ourselves to kind of rest. I didn't want to add another singer and do this all over again, dude, because I wanted to go back to where we came from. So we have a Best of Seven Witches record coming out this year. It'll be the whole history of the band. We were in talks to do one show on the, I'm going to say it. We were offered to do the 70,000 tons last year. I waited, and unfortunately, the promoter's family got sick, and he called me the last 2 weeks, and we just couldn't get it together in time. But supposedly, we had an offer for this year coming up to put Seven Witches to rest and do a one-time show. So who knows? Maybe we'll still do that. Night Terror is like out of the ashes of Seven Witches. So it's me, Jason McMaster, Carl Wilcox from Diamond Head on drums, and Dennis Hayes from Iced Earth and Seven Witches on bass. It's a killer album, man. Killer. And we did the 6-song EP. It comes on LP. We sold out.
Wow.
Yeah. So
is it streaming also?
It's streaming too. Yeah. If you just
okay, good.
It's all on Deco.
Okay, good. And the Brothers in Arms is the last thing too. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I wanted to do like it's called Sunset and Clark, and it has, man, it's such a great record, man. Carl Wilcox is on drums again. Charlie Cowell from Angels on keyboards. Alex is on bass. Alex plays with Hardline, filled in for Primal Fear. And then we have a bunch of guest singers. We have Paul Shortino from Rough Cut.
Mm-hmm.
We have Keith St. John from Montrose. We had the singer from Roxy Blue. We had, it's just a great, if you love 80s hair rock, check it out. It's called Brothers in Arms.
That's out now.
That's been out. There's 3 videos on YouTube.
Okay.
The singer from FM's on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Nick from Slick Toxic's on it. Like, dude, if you
so you did an all-star vocalist thing.
Andrew Freeman's on 2 songs.
Oh,
fucking Andrew killed it.
No. I told Andrew when I first started talking, I said, you are a guy that in Brooklyn we call you a get the fuck out of here vocalist.
Yes.
Because once you hit the notes, we go, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Andrew's great. I can't wait to see him tomorrow night.
Me too. I'm so excited. And Angus said that they're doing Falling Off the Edge of the World. I can't. I'm like, holy shit. I said, you doing Die Young? No, we're not doing Die Young. I said, oh, come on, do that. Because we are doing Fall Off the Edge. I said, disregard what I just said.
That's good. Yeah.
Now, you said no websites or anything for you, Jack, itself?
Well, no, I have Instagram.
Okay.
It's all lowercase, Jack Frost underscore, right?
Yes, underscore, yeah.
See how terrible I am?
So is it Jack underscore Frost?
No, it's Jack Frost, all one word, underscore 1968.
Okay,
That's
good.
Instagram, I'm not the dickhead rock star that if you send me something or send me a message, I do answer. Yeah. I don't have somebody answer. It's me. It's really me.
It is really you.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, man. I want to thank you so much. I mean, it's Jack. It's been a blast, and I feel like we're friends now.
We are, and you know what? I'll see you tomorrow night.
Absolutely, I can't wait. We get a big hug.
Big hug. Anything you ever need me for anything, dude. But I will email me everything because I want to hook you up with Aldo. That's real. I'll send you his personal email. Explain to him your show.
Right. And we'll promote all the live stuff going on upcoming.
That would be awesome.
So we'll do that. Don't go away. I want to say proper goodbye to you.
Okay, brother.
All right, so everybody, this has been Hard Rock History Show. I'm your host, Paulie Christine. That is a fucking awesome guy named Jack Frost right there. I mean, listen, like this. No bullshit.
I know that, brother.
No bullshit. I'm really glad. I say, Jack, I've seen you a million fucking times in a million places. And I don't know, it's just like when I was like, hi, it's like, I just, you don't feel weird, but there was not an opening for me to come over to you and say, again, because you don't know the person, you know what I'm saying? But I'm glad I had this for me because that's the real reason Jack is on here, because I intentionally went out and I wanted to speak to him, period. Because I wanted to know about his history. I knew that he knew a lot of people. He had a lot of stories. And as you can see from the beginning of the show, we shot the shit from the get-go about what we love.
This is only a little bit we talked about. You get us in a room, it could be.
Well, when we get off, we'll explain about that. And plus, we're going to definitely have him on for when we do the UFO discography.
That'd be awesome, man.
Absolutely. All right, so again, I'm Paulie Christine. This is Hard Rock History Show. Please follow us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on iTunes, and on Spotify. See, I do all the social media.
Good man.
I have to.
One
all right,
day,
everyone.
one day I'll grow up and learn.
Everyone, keep on rocking. Thank you so much. Take care.